What's up, everybody? I wanted to share with you my latest raid build. I've been going through a lot of different trials and errors and testings trying to get something that's more efficient. Went to LMGs and back to ARs and back to LMGs and back to ARs. And I finally settled on what I think is the best build that I've used so far. And unfortunately, it's LMGs again. So I'm running double unhinged M60s, as well as a two-piece Fenris, two-piece Heligard. I have one Murakami and one Petrov. I'll go over each piece of gear, but that's my current composition. We're running the Demolitionist Specialization. It's really, really good for the raid. So first off, we've got the 15% damage to LMGs. Then we've got 5% damage to targets out of cover for everyone in my group. And crisis response. This is really, really good. When armor is reduced to 0, it refills both of your main weapons. As well as this right here. You can ignore an explosion once every 60 seconds, which is every time you deal a damage phase. So that's really nice. And the other stuff doesn't really affect it that much for the build here, other than this here, the X-Stat Armor Kit Supplementary. This thing's actually really, really awesome. When you pop an armor kit, you get 100% weapon handling. This makes your unhinged LMG shoot like a laser beam. It also boosts your reload speed. I've been told that I would need filler up running 2 LMGs, and I've tested it, and I don't actually ever need filler up in this build. I would rather have the extra damage from Petrovs than filler up. Plus, my biggest problem is every time I've ever tried to run filler up, no matter my gear, I don't have enough for on the ropes. I'm running Unstoppable Force and on the ropes with this build. I could run filler up, but I would basically be sacrificing either damage to elites or Petrov's 10% LMG damage, or I would be sacrificing filler on the ropes, which I really don't want to do. As far as the Liberty, the reason I'm using this is I don't actually ever shoot it, but when holstered, if you destroy a weak point, holstered means when I'm using either of my LMGs, it refills 20% of my current weapon's magazine. So I get like 30-something bullets. Keep in mind, I am using the 35-round magazine, so results may be different if you don't have this. That might mean that you will want to run filler up, because that's an extra 70 bullets that I have between the two guns. And the people telling me that I needed filler up, maybe that's their problem, is they don't have the large pouch. So that is an option with this build, is to try to supplement filler up in there. But I run damage to elites on my scope, damage to elites on my muzzle, stability on my underbarrel. Some people go accuracy, but if you're in cover, your accuracy closes up within like a second on the M60. So I found stability more useful. And yeah, as far as my stats go, before I go through all my gear, I'm going to show you what my stat looks like. I have 35,000 weapon damage on both of my LMGs. Keep in mind, I don't have any universal LMG mods. I don't even actually have a red mod boosting LMG damage in this build, unfortunately. So maybe you guys have better gear and you'll be able to do that, but I just don't have it. 83% headshot damage. We've got, including unhinged, a total of 77% all weapon damage, with the LMG and the all-weapon damage added together, and 76% damage to elites. That's really good. I've also got 57% hazard protection and 10% damage reduction from elites. I put Chem Launcher and Pulse Skill Power mods, or not mods, but batteries in my mods. I use the EMP Pulse, and I use the Chem Launcher. The battery gives about 1,000 skill power to each, so I'm able to use a mod. I actually don't have one. I need to craft a radius mod for my pulse, but that's about it for that. As far as gear goes, like I said, Unstoppable Force and On the Ropes is what I prioritize for my main talents, and then I try to get damage to elites everywhere else. I would prefer damage to elites on my gloves, but they have headshot damage. I'll show you that in a second. Let's start with our mask. This is a Heligard mask. I'm running 2 pieces of this. One piece gives total armor percent, and the other piece gives that 20% hazard protection. It's pretty noticeable. I also rolled hazard protection on the mask instead of health, and it makes a really big difference from explosions and stuff. It might not be needed anymore. I don't really know, but the extra health also wasn't really needed, so it's up to you whether you want to roll health or hazard protection. I am missing potential, like, another at least 10% damage to elites that I could make up on this mask, and I rolled hard hitting on it. It's got a mod. It's utility protocol. It's nothing special. I don't have any good utility protocol mods. It's just 3% headshot damage to help with killing ads. As far as my backpack goes, we've got a Murakami backpack, which gives me the 8% health. It's got 14% total armor on it, 9% weapon damage, a yellow, on the ropes, hard hitting, and a defensive mod slot. My favorite defensive mod slots are things that give armor percent, and total protection from elites, or percent protection from elites. This is the most important, I think, for the raid, is protection from elites. It's way more beneficial than armor. So if you have any mods that have that, even if it's lower armor, definitely equip it. It's a huge difference. So total so far with my Fenris 2-piece and that, I've got 14% reduction from elites. My Fenris chest, we're running, I don't have an assault rifle, so that's not that's not going to help me, but the 2-piece actually is very beneficial. Protection from elites makes you take quite a bit less damage from them. It's a 2 blue, 1 red, armor, health, and weapon damage. I've modified this to 15%. You can get higher. I just have never found higher. This is my best weapon damage roll that I have. It's got unstoppable force and hardened, and a utility system mod slot. I have this equipped with 4% armor. I don't have any LMG damage mods, but I could swap out an LMG damage mod if I ever get one. But this puts me right at 475,000 armor, so it works out pretty good. I'm getting, from unstoppable force, 2% every 25,000, and that means that we're getting, I believe, 22% weapon damage when I kill an enemy. This lasts 10 seconds, and works really good in the raid because of all the drones. In the final fight of the boss fight, there's tons of drones, and every time you kill one, you're getting that 10 seconds of 24% weapon damage. Hardened is really good here. You could also do damage to elites, depending on how well you can survive. If you can lose the armor and get the damage to elites, you'd be better off. Damage to elites is a great modifier. Now, gloves. I haven't rolled these gloves, and I'm contemplating what to do with these. I think I'm going to roll the LMG damage to 12%, which could then be used for other builds. I could roll them to assault rifle or marksman rifle or whatever. These are my second piece of Heligard for the hazard protection. And they rolled Precise, which is a really good talent. Precise is fairly rare on gloves. I don't have very many with it, especially where I can roll this to whatever weapon damage that I want. Preferably for this build, I would have Heligard, because I get the yellow mod slot, a blue attribute, a red attribute, and damage to elites. I don't have that. I could roll this to damage to elites, but then they're stuck as an 8% LMG glove. So in the future, I could never, swap this to something else. So I think what I'm going to do is roll these gloves to 12% LMG damage and leave the Precise, which is good. Precise works great for, the NPCs, and every encounter up to the final boss, you do get benefits with headshot damage, so not too bad there. I have a utility mod to help me get that 7 yellows. Now, holster. Holster, I'm running 1-piece Petrovs. Unfortunately, Petrovs do not give talents, so I'm missing out on damage to elites here, or headshot damage. But I get the 2 yellows and a blue. I haven't rolled this. I can roll this blue to, I can put like 40,000 health on this. So my health is actually going to be quite a bit higher. I probably should have done that before I made this build video to show my health being around, 100,000. And I do plan on doing that. I've actually got a couple of these holsters, and this is my best version of it. And I can roll this health to like 40,000. I've got the holster to do it. I just haven't got around to it. So that will be done. And now that I've learned that I forgot to do that, I'm going to do that after I finish this video. So this is nice, though, because of the 10% LMG damage, and it gives you those yellows that you need. Knee pads, final piece, Fenris knee pads. Unfortunately, I wasn't able to go armor on these because I needed the yellow. Preferably, I would have armor on these, armor percent, or a huge armor roll. Either one would work great, but because of on the ropes, I'm not running it. If you're not running on the ropes, I think you're going to be better off running armor or health here, whatever you prefer. I recommend armor because of unbreakable, or unstoppable force, sorry. These are hard hitting and patience. Hard hitting, obviously damage to elites. And patience, when you're in cover for 5 seconds, your armor repairs by 5% every 1 second. Really, really nice to have. I don't really like not running with patience unless I was running like a clutch build or something, or entrench. So, yeah, really, really like these knee pads here. Unfortunately, they're yellow. I can roll this to higher skill power, but I haven't really bothered because I don't have a good mod that needs more skill power. And I think that's about it. I run a chem launcher with an increased heal, 31%. I've got the battery in there, so I get high enough to get that increased heal. And I run pulse EMP to proc on the ropes, and I just don't have a mod for it yet. I need to craft up some low like purple EMP or purple pulse mods that are gonna give me, you know, increased range is what I want. So I think that covers everything. I don't think I'm really missing anything here. I could add more reds. I would prefer to have more red slots, but with the current gear, I only have 4 mod slots. The mask, you know, is yellow. The gloves are yellow. Oh wait, no, the mask is yellow. The gloves are yellow, and my chest piece is yellow. I needed those yellow slots to get the 7, and it just kind of sucks for my mod slots. I don't have any extra damage ones, but my damage is not lacking. I do some serious damage. Let's go to the shooting range and show you guys some of this damage output that I get. It's pretty crazy. If you guys didn't know, your on-kill effects now work in the shooting range, so that's pretty cool. So we can pop on the ropes here and kill this, get my unstoppable force, and I'm hitting 165,000 to the head of an elite. As you can see, the DPS is really good. The accuracy is not that bad either. I'm pumping out 1.6 million DPS right here, 1.8 million without even really trying. So it's really good. And it's got some serious sustained damage as well. Let me show you here. And people say you need filler up, but when I run the raid, there's never a moment that I actually need filler up. With the 170 rounds that I have, plus running Liberty, so when you break weak points, you get ammo back, plus the talent on the Demolitionist that refills my magazines when my armor gets low, I've never had a time where both my guns are empty and there's things shooting at me. There's plenty of downtime in the raid where you can, you know, find 5 seconds to reload your gun. And really the only time that you're going to need both guns is the damage phase of the final boss. So let's shred these down. And there's just so much sustained damage in this build. You never have to reload, really. Like, there's so much shots that you can get out there. And then you just switch to your next gun. Oh, I don't even have my on the ropes and stuff up, but it's pretty awesome. Let me show you here with a full reload of both. I believe it's 35 seconds of sustained fire without proccing any of your talents that reload. And I've never had a time in the raid where I need more than 35 seconds of sustained fire. You could roll extra on these, and then you'd have a ton more bullets. You'd have like 163 in both guns. So that'd be pretty crazy. I actually wish I had extra on these, but I don't. I wish I would have started the timer down so you could see I've timed it. It's 35 seconds of sustained firing with these 2 guns. And there's not a time that I've ever needed more than that. And then when you do need to reload, it's not that bad. To actually swap to your double barrel, assuming that you haven't shot them already, you'd then have to shoot twice and reload and swap back. it takes about the same time as it takes to reload one of these. So filler up's only really useful if you're reloading both at the same time. And in most situations, you can find enough time to reload your gun manually and not have to need filler up. And it's totally worth having on the ropes, because on the ropes adds some serious damage to this build. And I'm really happy with it. So if you guys have any questions about the build, any comments on how to make it better, or whatever, let me know. And don't forget to subscribe to the YouTube channel. Check me out live. I stream almost every day on Twitch, twitch.tv/Inigo Montoya. And yeah, thank you guys so much. I'll see you guys around.